What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another Hasbro Star Wars The Vintage Collection market update. Lots of really nice items sold, including a signed Ashley Eckstein Ahsoka Tano. We had a Death Star playset from SDCC that sold for big money, as you can see in this thumbnail, as well as a separate Mouse Droid and Salacious Crumb mint on card that also sold at auction. So lots of good data here for those of you looking for some holy grails for your Hasbro TVC collection. Let's go ahead and dig right in. The first one is that Death Star exclusive set from SDCC 2011. And it also included apparently the original bag, Hasbro Toy Shop. Pretty awesome item. Obviously the outer box has some wear to it, which is common with this Death Star playset. But as you can see, he opened it up and showed some of the items that are inside, and pretty awesome set. It looks like it had been opened. Some of the tape had fallen off, or he'd opened it. But you can see in this photo here, just a little bit of light edge wear to increasing to the actual box. So this one did sell in an auction on December 13th, $1899.99 plus $75 shipping. So almost $2,000 now for a complete Death Star SDCC set. Two bids on that one, so he priced it right on the money, and congratulations whoever's able to pick that up, that holy grail. Next up is where it all started, VC01, and this is Dengar. And I want to allude back to the CAS 85 plus grade that one of my Patreon supporters bought for like $1.50. This one sold for $100 plus $9.75 shipping. So if you think about it, to get one CAS graded, it costs $60 plus shipping to and from CAS. So to get one for $150 plus shipping versus, I think it might have even been $150 shipped, no shipping costs, versus this one that sold for $110. That just shows you what an awesome deal that CAS 85 plus was. But this one was in decent shape, not great. It did have some scratches on the back, as you can see there. So that just shows you what a great deal that one was. But 110 roughly took that one home. Next up was a Revenge of the Sith General Grievous. This is the US card, and it had the rocket firing Fett offer, and it was punched. It looked to be in pretty great shape overall. Pretty good photos, high-def photos of this. Probably 85 condition, just some light edge wear by the proof of purchase on the back of the card. This one sold for $110 free shipping on that one. So another data point for General Grievous. Here was an unpunched Revenge of the Jedi Boba Fett. Beautiful example there. I believe this is from the SDCC set as well. Lots of those seem to have sold here recently. But yeah, this one is missing the offer sticker as well as the paperwork inside. So you know this is the Revenge of the Jedi card back from that SDCC set. This one sold for $102.50 free shipping. I thought that was a great price there. Next up was an unpunched Princess Leia in her slave outfit, VC64. This also was an SDCC packed in because it again is missing the prototype Fett offer sticker as well as the paperwork inside the blister. So lots of these SDCC exclusives we're selling here recently. This one sold at auction for $280.88 free shipping. I thought that was a great deal. Really great buy relative to some of the recent prices. So probably proof that the vintage collection seems to be coming down in price. Maybe we're just in a lull because of the holidays. But when you see these, you're like, okay, pretty good prices here for the most part. And then we get to the Mouse Droid. This Mouse Droid unpunched, it did have a little bit of wear in the upper left-hand corner below the ages 4 and up. As you can see, one little ding there. But overall, pretty great shape. That one sold in an auction on December 13th for $520 free shipping. So pretty big price point, but certainly not as high as some of the ones we've seen. Same seller also had the unpunched Salacious Crumb. This one also had just a very light ding in the upper left-hand corner, but overall probably like 85 plus condition. And the price did not disappoint on that one. $750 on 15 bids plus free shipping. So just some incredible items that sold here at auction. Next up was a 4-pack of 3-packs. So we had 4 different special action figure sets: the Hoth Rebel set, the Dr. Aphra set, the Droid set, as well as the Villain set. And they all looked to be in pretty decent condition. One of them was a little bit rough. It looks like they all had kind of just some light curling going on. This one looks like it might even had like a crease on the Dr. Aphra. But, you know, these are probably varying condition of 75 plus to 85-ish condition. And the lot of 4 of those sold for $152.50 plus $9.20 shipping. Not terrible. I mean, me personally, I'd probably rather look for individual sets that are in better condition, because some of them had quite a bit of wave going on and some creasing, but it looks like the villain set was probably in the best condition, unpunched and pretty flat, but the rest of them had some issues. So $152.50 plus $9.20 shipping, took that one home. Luke Skywalker X-Wing seems to be moving up a little bit in price. This one sold for $44 on 27 bids, free shipping. You know, it's a fairly recent release, and it is by no means like perfect condition. It had some light edge wear to it. So I'm a little surprised it sold that high, but just a note for those of you looking to fill out your collection with more recent releases, that the Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot does seem to be creeping up a little bit in price at $44. I mean, historically, the last few months it's been more like $20 to $25, but this one, maybe there was just a bidding war, I don't know, but $44 free shipping, took that one home. Next up was the reissue Slave One, Boba Fett Slave One on the Empire Strikes Back packaging. This one did have one little ding in the lower left-hand corner with a little scratch there, and that probably held the price down a little bit. That one sold for $99.99 plus about $23 shipping, and they've been kind of hovering around $150 to $175, so this one had a slight discount because of that ding on the lower left-hand corner of the box. The AP attack pod from the Revenge of the Sith. This one was in pretty great shape overall. Just some light edge wear here and there, but for the most part, pretty great. Here's the one ding that I wanted to point out. It had kind of a little crunch right there in the lower left-hand corner, but that one only had one bid, $75 plus $11.50 shipping. I've seen as high as $125 for this here recently, so not a terrible price on that one. Next up was the Target exclusive Luke's Land Speeder from 2011. This box looked to be in pretty impeccable condition. $149 plus $18.93, took that one home. So a little bit higher, but you know, the box looked to be pretty pristine on that one, so you can see why that one sold for what it did. A few graded items. This was an AFA 80 Luke Skywalker Death Star Escape VC39, and this is one that can go for $80 to $90 ungraded. And this one was admittedly an 80 grade, so it wasn't super high. 85, 80, 90 were the sub scores on that one. 3-tier grading from AFA. $130.50 plus $17 shipping, took that one home. Next up, this seller had a number of uncirculated kind of second or third tier figures, and this one is Anakin Skywalker as a child with the Darth Maul offer sticker. Uncirculated 9.0 from AFA. That one sold for $69 plus $13 shipping. The Padme Amidala in her peasant disguise, that one also was an uncirculated 9.0. That one sold for $127.02 plus $13 shipping. And then finally, I think this seller had Qui-Gon Jinn, uncirculated 9.0. I expected this one to go for the most money, and it did. Unpunched US card back with the Darth Maul offer sticker. That one sold for $165.50 plus $13 shipping. Next up was a CAS 90 plus grade Sand Trooper with the Lost Line card back, unpunched, and you know, a very nice item. But you know, it seems like obviously the Lost Line doesn't fetch nearly the prices that traditional TVC card backs do, but very high grade. 90, 90, 95 were the sub scores, and that one sold for $149.95 on one bid, free shipping. That's the same seller that had the CAS 85 plus Dengar that I referenced at the beginning of the video. Next up, we had a Power Droid. This one was graded AFA 85 with 3-tier grading. I can't believe that sales price, $59.05 plus $17 shipping. So really great price on that Power Droid. Very good deal there. Next up, going back to that same seller, this is the one I wanted to point out, the Kit Fisto, uncirculated 9.0, unpunched US card back. And, you know, this one we've talked about here recently in another market update where ungraded it sold for over $200. And this one sold for $242.51 plus $13 shipping. That's a really good buy, I think, just given the cost of grading. Beautiful card back. I love that one. That's a really, really nice example and a very fair price, just given that it's graded uncirculated 9.0. It's tough to find these early TVC in an uncirculated grade now, because you know whoever submitted these had to have submitted a sealed Hasbro case in order to get that designation. And there are collectors out there. I'm not one of them usually, but there are collectors out there that are willing to pay a slight premium for the uncirculated designation. Next up was a K2SO from Rogue One, VC170. This also was an AFA 85. This sold for $90 plus $17 shipping on 16 bids on December 13th. I think that was a pretty good buy. Beautiful figure there. I think I had to sell that for my Clone Wars #1 funding, and it's unfortunate I had to get rid of that one, but that's a beautiful example and a great price. Next up was an uncirculated 9.0, The Child. Pretty good buy on that one. Uncirculated, gold level. That one sold for $55.02 plus $18 shipping. So for whatever reason, collectors just don't like this one. I'm one of those. I sold my example. I had it like a CAS 85 plus. I don't know what it is. There's something about having that prom in there that just doesn't present that great, although the card back is nice, but I'm just not a big fan of that one in particular. Next up was another Maldo Kreese Mandalorian and Grogu. This one was the Walmart exclusive, if memory serves. It was only an 80 plus, but it still fetched over $100, as has been the norm here for the graded Maldo Kreese example. This one sold for $107.50 plus $19 shipping. AFA 8.5s on the modern scale. They've been kind of hovering around $125. So this one went for a little bit less. Next up was the big boy. This is the Ashley Eckstein signed Ahsoka Tano. This one was rated CAS 90, and it had the James Spence authentication from CAS, but I will point out that this one was mislabeled. This was labeled as the original 2012 version of VC102, but this is the reissue. So you can see on the back, it's very clearly the reissue. And again, this goes back to what I've been talking about. Quality control issues at CAS. They've got to remember to label these things correctly. And if you guys submit something to CAS, look over the photos. They upload photos before they ship the items, and you want to make sure that the label is correct. And this one was just graded this year. There's no excuse for these kinds of mistakes. This should have been labeled 2022 Hasbro instead of 2012. And so that's a note for those of you that do have items at CAS. Don't pay the shipping until the label is reviewed by you, and make sure it's correct. That's what I do every single time. I just don't trust the labeling right now because they continue to have quality control issues. That's all I really had for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.